M&P Park, the site of the 2017 Canadian Ultimate Championships. It's the women's division gold medal match between Traffic from British Columbia and the 6ixers from Ontario. Hi everybody, Dan Mooney alongside Steve Traynor and a member of the Team Canada Under-24 team that will be representing our nation at the World Ultimate Championships in Perth, Australia in January, Becky Thompson. And couldn't ask for a better final, you guys.
No, absolutely not. It's going to be so exciting to see whether or not Traffic can set the record and become the only team in the women's division to ever win 5 national titles under the same name. On the other side, we have an upstart team from Toronto, it's, the 6ixers. It's only their second year. That's their first nationals, and they've made it all the way to the final. Lots of exciting talent, and it should be an excellent matchup between two great teams.
You are more familiar with Traffic from BC, Becky. A really good team, obviously, and your alma mater. So just wondering what we can expect from Traffic this afternoon.
Traffic's going to be coming out with a lot of speed, a lot of depth. They like their hucks, they like their long shots, especially with players like Catherine Hui, a World Games member. She is going to be really exciting to watch, and she loves that backhand. So also a bunch of young players on this team. They brought in about 14 rookies this year, so a little bit of inexperience on their squad, but they haven't shown it at all yet this year.
And the 6ixers on that side, you got a good scouting report on the 6ixers, Steve. Who do we watch for on that side?
Yeah, I want to thank Captain Jordan Marin for such a great scouting report. She had lots of great things to say about her teammates. But in terms of the player that there's going to be a rely on, Jordan Marin is going to be number 90. Is going to be one of those players that's right. She's an excellent, a well-established player both for Team Canada and in the competitive club scene. And they're going to be looking to go for her. She's a long, deep strike. She's got big throws. She's a good leader, and she, along with the coaching staff, are going to help lead this young team to have a chance to win today.
Traffic from BC wearing the white jerseys. The 6ixers from Ontario wearing the black jerseys. And on a really warm afternoon, you think those black jerseys are a little bit of a disadvantage, I would think.
I think Becky, they may have lost the coin toss when it came to who got the whites versus black. What's your preference?
I mean, at this situation, you're playing on hot turf as well. I'd definitely be choosing your white jersey. Your feet are burning on the turf too, so black, definitely hot, middle of the day here, and I would prefer to wear my white.
A 25-degree high is expected in the nation's capital this afternoon, at about 6 degrees for the humidex. So that's 31, and it can go anywhere between 5 and 10 degrees warmer on the artificial surface. So that makes it for about 35, 36, 37 degrees with a kind of a swirly wind. May cool you off a little bit, but it's really important that these players stay hydrated this afternoon on such a warm and humid afternoon.
Yeah, and it's really going to underline what we talked about before the game started, how it's going to be important to stay hydrated and to be able to be high efficient on offense. We don't want to have a lot of turns earlier in the game, because as the game goes along, it's going to be harder and harder to take it up a notch and score points. So if you have a chance to score early and score often against your opponents, you're going to want to do that, especially with it being as hot on the turf as it is today.
And it looks as if Traffic will be starting things off. No, it's going to be the 6ixers with the opening pole of this women's gold medal match. And we are underway from M&P Park on the campus of Carleton University in Ottawa. Picked up by number 42, Rachel Moans, for Michelle Ning, and then right down into the end zone already, right off the hop. Traffic opens the scoring.
Laura Mason really living up to the pregame hype as a one to watch. She catches the disc on the in cut, throws a big huck out to space. Here we see some nice movement by Traffic. Good defense by 6ixers, but the throw goes up there. It's a jump ball, and it's caught in the end zone by Traffic. Good start.
Yeah, and Traffic just showing a little bit of their chemistry there. A lot of those girls have played together on the World Games roster this year, including Rachel Mowens picking up the disc and Laura Mason hitting Catherine Hui downfield. They will do that a lot today.
Becky, any height advantage for one team or the other you see going into this game?
Yeah, a little bit on Traffic. They definitely have a few taller girls and quite a few girls who can have a huge vertical. They can jump quite high. 6ixers, they're a very athletic team as well, but maybe just a little bit less of a height factor.
So already a 1-0 advantage for Traffic on a huck from Laura Mason to Catherine Hui. And is this the kind of thing we can expect all afternoon from Traffic? They like to use the long disc?
Yeah, absolutely, and they were going downwind on that point as well, so I won't be surprised to see them continue to throw long on those downwind points. If they do turn it over, it forces 6ixers to have a full 70 yards to work it upfield, upwind.
6ixers with their first possession. Anushka Beaudry moves that up for number 11, Laura Kinoshita. Sarah Bobak moves it back. Beaudry flips it out for Erica Tucker. Tucker down the field, and a great D there from number 42. Rachel Mowens getting a hand on it to nullify the first drive of the afternoon for the 6ixers. Toss into Traffic. Traffic throwing it into Traffic, and it didn't work out for them. The interception goes back the other way. Erica Tucker. Beaudry. Inside. Here's Beaudry with it once again, about 13 yards out. Nice grab there by Kinoshita. Laura Kinoshita. Forced back out. Little shot inside off the fingertips.
That's unfortunate. I really like the way that they were moving the disc on that play. It just looked like there's some good disc movement back the middle. It's a sign of a high-level team when you're able to move it like that, but they weren't able to capitalize.
That was Jordan Marin who had the disc go off her fingers, and Jordan Marin just so forthcoming with information on her team coming into this one. Now Traffic starts back the other way. And another great D there from Sarah Innes. And a foul called.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there from Rina Kawabata as well. She just telegraphed her throw to the backfield, but the mark just stepping around maybe a little too close. Jordan Marin just hugging that mark, wrapping a little bit. So a good call from Kawabata.
Going deep. Great layout there by Rachel Mowens, just beyond her outstretched hands. Kinoshita. Back out for Marin. Marin moves that up for Innes. Sarah Innes. Little throw inside, and another great D there from Rina Kawabata. But a little bit of a reach. I think it was a tad encroached.
Yeah, I think there was some contact on that play as well. And I think that is something we will see. These two teams are very physical, and they want the disc really badly.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the matchups right now. We've got a couple of matchups. Both teams have figured they're going to play certain man-to-man positions to see whether or not that'll change during the game. We don't know, but there's definitely some tough marking going on right now.
A pass beyond the reach of Molly Lewis, but a foul called, so they'll bring it back.
Molly Lewis seems to be a pretty interesting athletic prospect in terms of she seems big. She's moving really well out there. I really think that she's had some really good cuts in the first couple of plays here so far. What do you think?
Yeah, Lewis, another member of the under-24 women's team, headed to Australia. She's a dynamic cutter as well, and playing in the handler position right now. She's tall, she's quick as well, and you can see that already. She's getting open very easily right now.
Yeah, the ability, if you've got the ability to be that tall and to be that quick, it really lends credibility to you being considering for, you know, a top teams or Team Canada teams if you can combine it with the skill set on the throws as well. So
how valuable is that as a commodity in it?
You can't
just putting together a team. You need that height.
You can't teach tall. That's the problem. All the other stuff you can work on, but you need the height in order to compete.
All the way down, off the hands of Sarah Innes. So we'll have another turnover. Sixers from Ontario, Toronto to be precise, wearing the black jerseys. Traffic from British Columbia, wearing white. There's Terry Whitehead. Finds Laurel J. J down the inside for Julia Zhang. Zhang forced back. Rachel Moens. Moens inside for J. J down low. She found Katie Wong. Back for Moens. Rachel Moens. Cross for Rina Kawabata. Kawabata with the hammer. That's picked off. Great defense so far. Anushka Beaudry playing primarily offense, but she made a great defensive play there. And the Sixers smartly call a timeout here. Get everybody hydrated and they can get their key offensive players out on the field.
It's been a while, but I do believe the Sixers started on offense. There's just been quite a few turnovers there. Very smart timeout call. And, I think they just needed to regroup and refresh here and get their offense. But what do you think that we're going to see whenever they get out of the timeout huddle here? What kind of offense do you think the Sixers are going to throw at them?
I think the Sixers will likely come out with some sort of set play, maybe looking to punch deep, but also taking care of the disc, valuing the disc. It's early on in this game, but you never want to go down too early, so a good timeout call. Probably some sort of set play, looking for players like Jordan Marin to go deep.
Yeah. That's the thing about when you love to seeing a high level in both the men's and the women's division. When you have the players that can throw deep and go deep themselves, it really makes their offense a little bit more unpredictable and a lot harder to defend. So, we see Jordan Marin. She does play in the backfield at times. Is totally willing to throw the long hook herself, but also can do some damage when she goes deep as well.
So the Sixers go on offense. Disc touched in by Julia Zhang. And the Sixers going for the bundle. And they got it. Number 22, Sarah Bobak, makes the grab at the goal line. Flips it back. Beaudry. 10-second stall count. Throws it. Grab there. Great catch by Kinoshita. Laura Kinoshita ties things up for the Sixers.
Two players that Jordan Marin talked about before the game as would be looked on very heavily by the Sixers. Kinoshita, very strong so far, probably lots of great plays so far. And Bobak with the catch on the huck, and then very unselfishly got it back so that it could be swung out for the point. That's what you like to see. They made the long play, they made the big play just as Becky said that they would, and then they didn't try and force it in there. They waited till everyone caught up and scored on the point.
Yeah, and Anushka Beaudry as well. We should talk about her as a player. She is extremely young, only about 19, 20 years old, and playing on the U20 team in Poland last year, the women's beach team in France this year, and now she's in a national final with the Sixers, showing her experience with that huck, patience at the end zone, finding Kinoshita in the backfield.
So where are all these players from? We talked about how Toronto seems to be a hotbed for young talent, both on the men's side and the women's side. Are these players coming from the college series? I know there's a lot of universities that are producing talent, but is it the juniors program as well that's helping to produce those players?
Yeah, I think the juniors program, the Elites Ultimate program of Toro have created quite a few of these players, bringing players like Laura Kinoshita into the fold here. Anushka Beaudry coming out of the more Quebec program as well, and now moving and living in Toronto. I think that a lot of these players have come through the U of T program, so quite a few good college players as well, but just something about this Toronto group. They're such good friends, and I think that allows them to play really well for each other.
Team chemistry, yep.
Disc curls back into the playing field on the pull. Michelle Ning to the outside. Laura Mason. Forced back. Katie Hikita. Back inside. Nice grab there by Jennifer Kwok. Catherine Hui into the end zone. Nice grab there by Ellen Ao Young. 2 31 traffic.
Awesome athletic move there to catch it on the huck. Runs it down. Throw is comes out. It looks pretty good. And it's just an athletic over-the-top play. Wow, that's awesome. Nice job by her on that play.
You know, see, I don't think we can talk enough about the young talent on these two teams. Ellen Young, another college player playing for UBC, playing for Team Canada under 24, and we're seeing these young athletes really emerge right now in the final.
That's great because you know we've seen Canada do so well sort of at the international level for years. Some of those players that have helped us to gold medals in the past are now retiring or you know have stepped back in terms of their commitment to the game. So it's nice to see these young players on both sides of the coast stepping up, and must be exciting for players like yourself to be entering in a time where you're going to have a lot of people to pick from, and it might be also a little challenging in terms of making those Team Canada nods, but nice to know that Team Canada is going to have a lot of players to pick from.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and the program, and we've seen it with the juniors division earlier this week, it just keeps growing. We had 40 teams out here and a huge opening ceremonies, the biggest junior division we've ever had, so the sport is growing and it's absolutely phenomenal to see.
So the hubs of the sport within Canada would be Vancouver and Toronto, I'm guessing.
Yes, but there's also a lot of hubs, I would say smaller hubs, that have been able to produce elite level talent. Here's Big Huck coming out.
Big Huck coming out. The disc sails a little. Comes down with it. Sarah Boback.
Like a boss on that play. Wow. I love it. It's there's two great Huck plays in a row here. Throw comes out, and she just boxes out. Nice play, and is able to grab it. Wow, that was a lot closer to getting D than I thought. It was traffic player almost got it, but nice play by Boback. And great disc spike afterwards. Not at anybody, just great celebration. She's got to be really pumped up after that grab.
Yeah, I think some of the energy from those celebrations can really help your team get momentum as well. And we've talked before about how excellent momentum can be going forward, and especially in a final situation, 2-2. Getting some energy, a huge grab by Sarah Boback there, that could carry them through for a few breaks.
Yeah, leaders tell a lot by the body language, and see Boback go up and make that grab and be pumped up just kind of will help pick up the bench a little bit in terms of knowing when they get their chance out there, they got to bring that same sort of intensity out there.
Boback getting a well-deserved drink of water, and congratulations from her teammates. And when you have to wait for it, that's the worst. You know you're open for 5 or 6 steps, but when the disc starts to sail and you have to wait for it to come down, that's when the joust happens, and anything can happen in those situations.
There's also the chance that you might get injured rises proportionally the longer it stays up there. We call it OHIP passes, or Ontario Hospital passes, whenever it gets up there for too long. So hopefully this won't be the case.
Hui looking in the end zone for Mason. She's got it on the goal line. And a foul called, but again, the Huck playing a huge part early in this gold medal match. In the women's division, Hui scores her second of the game here early.
Catherine Wee has been down. She's the scoreboard leader so far for all women in terms of goals in the tournament. Goals and assists, she's been racking up the entire time. It's been a really good tournament for both teams. Traffic, has been averaging less than 7 goals against in the tournament. Same thing for Traffic. Haven't scored as many goals as Traffic, but both teams have been very dominant in this tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't really been challenged yet. Either of them haven't faced too many tests. So this game, possibly the first really tight match that they are having in this whole tournament, and that can be really telling of which team comes out on top, which team can adjust and refigure out their system to deal with a tougher opponent than they've seen yet.
Clearly, the warm-up did both teams good in the stadium warm-up here, because they've been able to calibrate their hucks going downwind quite well already. We've seen 3 in a row that have worked. What would you suggest both teams look to do in order to stop the hucks coming out?
I mean, I'd be interested to see some sort of zone look on defense as well, having somebody poach off in the deep area. We've seen it be extremely effective, the huck play for both teams, having scored every point here on the downwind end zone as well. So maybe a zone look, or just poaching off, having the 4th person poach off in the back lanes, make sure that they don't have that opportunity.
Yep.
Teams have traded points. Now it's the Sixers' turn. Here's Beaudry. Beaudry looking deep once again. Forced out, finds Bobak. Bobak. Back for Beaudry. Oh, she had to reach back behind her to grab it. Scooped up there by Erica Tucker. Here's Beaudry once again looking into the end zone. Easy. Jordan Marin. 3 apiece.
Wow, Jordan Marin making the University of Western Ontario or Western Ontario Mustangs proud with that grab in the end zone here. Beaudry had a heck of a point there. She caught the pass on the ricochet, throws it out to space. And you talked about her before the game. You just a little while ago, you were giving her props. And you showed there some nice plays by her in order to keep the disc alive and the nice throw into the end zone.
Yeah, I think Beaudry shows a lot of experience and depth. Not even thinking about her age in this situation. She's still a very young player, but just to have the vision to shoot deep to Jordan Marin there. She saw Marin before she'd even started moving, knew what Marin was capable of, and a perfectly placed throw into the end zone.
Well, you talked about the importance of Anushka Beaudry. She is certainly illustrating that early in this gold medal match. Sixers have 3 goals. Beaudry's assisted on all 3.
Not surprised to hear that. She's definitely showing her experience here, despite her age once again, but showing that she can throw the long bombs as well as the short, touchy passes right at the end of the end zone. A little bit of patience there and heads-up play from her.
Boy, certainly proving that the move from Quebec was tremendously beneficial for this Sixers side. Turns the disc back into the field of play on the pull. Here's Michelle Ning. Moans for Ning. Back for Moans. Moans flips that out for Hikita. Back for number 18, Madison, Amira Madison. There's a chance once again, Michelle Ning. Ning moves the disc forward for Hui. Catherine Hui. Back out for Madison. Ning. Ning. Great layout there by Amira Madison. Keeps the play alive. Laura Mason with it. Mason waiting for somebody to break. Little flip in. Wee has it at the goal line. Little toss in for Madison. And it's a goal.
Full value.
4-3 traffic.
Full value to traffic on that. That was excellent. So we saw a zone early in the play. And we see here how they move it back and forth very unselfishly. We not only scoring goals but passing. But we saw earlier on the Sixers put on a zone. It was pretty good. The hope was to trap it on the sideline. And fortunately for traffic, unfortunately for the Sixers, they got that break pass out, and then it was off to the races after that. They broke back into person-to-person very quickly, but definitely good to see different things on defense so far.
Yeah, and Traffic's one of those teams who, as soon as they get it around that initial trap on the sideline, they are absolutely gone. They're not going to slow down. They won't take their time with the disc. Each player, they're only holding it for about 1 or 2 stalls tops on that point, so full credit to them. And credit to Sixers as well. Once that zone was broken, they transitioned very quickly back to person defense, but they're going to have to find something different. And Traffic as well on D as we're trading downwind points still.
Yeah. Timeout called right now. Both teams, sensing that this game is going to be tight all the way through, and they're trying to seize the opportunities whenever they can. What is the plan for Traffic this year? Obviously, there's a Canadian National Championship that they're trying to win today, but are they going to be looking to compete at the USA Series later on this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Their target, their dream is the USA Series. Their coach, Michael Caldwell, a sockeye player, he said it perfectly. He said that the US Open was their spring homecoming, CUC's was prom, and USAU was college parties. So they're really looking forward to those college parties. That's where they want to be, and they're very excited about it.
Yeah. And for many on the team, they'll be mixing real college parties with the actual proverbial college party of USA. So it must be tough. 10 years ago, a lot of players didn't discover the game until later on in their undergrad, and then they get hooked on it as they become young professionals. Now we're seeing, because of the junior programs, people are getting better younger. So how tough is it for you and for other players to be a student and to be able to play both club and international or national events?
It's really tough, especially when the fall series for university is at the same time as the USA fall series, and by the time you're done those 6 weeks, you're right into midterm. So it's definitely a tough lifestyle, but we love the sport enough that we're willing to do it.
And a foul called. The disc will come back.
Just a memo to all university athletic directors that may be watching this either now or on the rebroadcast. Make sure you fund these varsity teams when you get a chance. It's a bunch of wonderful students representing their universities competing. So, it would be great to see more support from the universities themselves.
Beaudry looking deep. And both players went up. Marin went up against Daisy Lynn, and now they're discussing who was in the wrong.
I think Jordan Marin there did have body positioning on that catch, so looks like they have gone to the observers, and I think Marin will keep the disc in this situation, but Lynn just coming in from behind, trying to get around her, trying to get a hand on it. It's not hard to see how she could have made contact coming from behind on that play.
I think I understand why she's going to discuss it. I think it probably should be counted as a foul in my humble opinion, but Daisy did a really good job of running that down, and the momentum afterwards led to the contact.
Here's Marin. Little flip out for Beaudry. Beaudry looks one way, goes the other, into the end zone for number 77, Karin-Chan Lim. And we're tied at 4. They've been trading them since the beginning. And geez, guess who gets another assist? Anushka Beaudry.
Yeah, it's interesting to see these stars emerge as the game goes along here. Nice smart play out to space. Could have went for the forced it up the line to a covered Jordan Marin, instead held on to it. I also love the fact that both these teams seem, after the big huck, some of the more less experienced teams like to just get it into the end zone as soon as possible. Both these teams have used some fakes, have held on to the disc, and made sure that they were unselfish and got it into the end zone. And that's probably why both teams ended with like plus 56 and plus 52 in the goals for, goals against, because they're not making mistakes when they get near the end zone line.
Yeah, both these teams are very disciplined. They rely on their systems, and they all play for each other. They're two of the best teams I've watched in terms of cutting just for the sake of clearing space for a teammate. They do all want the disc in the end zone, but they want their teammate to score it more than themselves almost. And so incredible discipline from them, and it's showing right now for both of these teams.
Traffic open to scoring. 6ixers responded, and they've been trading them ever since. 4-4. Michelle Ning. Ning. A low throw and the first real break. Lauren Kimura. For Kinoshita. There's number 16, Jessica Chen, getting her first playing time of the afternoon. Chen, little flip for number 22, Sarah Bobak. Back for Chen. Chen looking for Bobak. On the goal line. It's a goal!
What a grab.
Christine Yurichuk.
Yes, never a bad time to catch the disc. I know that wasn't meant for her, perhaps, but never a bad time to catch the disc. She boxes out and she gets it. Chen puts it up the line. It goes AWOL, but the catch is made. Great job by Yurichuk, and great job by Traffic to compete for that. Wasn't able to come up with it, but definitely challenged it on it. They look pumped right now.
Yeah, Christine Jurichuk, another Western player. I've played against her several times in the Canadian College Series, and she is one of the most physical players in a good way. She can withstand lots of contact. She's not afraid to put her body on the line, and just showing that right there, she absorbed the contact, keeping her feet in bounds, and what a great play there from Christine Jurichuk.
It's really. I was thinking about on that play. It was a quick turnover by Traffic, but I was appreciating how they've done such a good job of mixing some of the veteran players. Rachel Moans, Terry Whitehead, all these people are sort of legends that have represented Canada and Traffic and won championships, and they're seem to be doing a good job of mixing in some of the young talent. So it's nice to see passing the torch, as it will. While they're still great players, they're working those younger players in, and maybe that's why Traffic has been so good that they have been for so long. I remember the first time I saw Traffic was in 2007. They came into Toronto and stole the tournament from the Capitals with an amazing performance in the finals. Were able to take the bid for Worlds in 2008. They've been good ever since.
Almost a mistake there by Moans. She was able to hang on to the disc after bobbling it. Just one blemish, and Chen calling a foul. Slow to get up.
Yeah, I think Chen just thinking she may have got picked there as she tried to get back to her defender, or to her player. She's marking Rachel Moens and Laura Mason with the disc now.
Miriam Tingle out there on defense. Here's Hui. Back for Mason. Mason for Moens. Rachel Moens. Looking deep for Hui. Disc is holding up. Hui's got it 2 yards out. Little flip over, and it's good to Michelle Ning. And we're tied once again.
Wow, what a nice throw. Nice grab by Hui on the huck. Moens puts it out there. You have a lot of faith when you have somebody as good as Hui. You put it out there and she's able to grab it. Makes it look so easy. And then, like we said before, some good continuation and throw up to number 3, and they make a grab in the end zone. They're right back into it.
Yeah, Hui just paying attention to Moens as the stall count got higher and higher, and she was ready to go. She knows what Moens is capable of. They've played together quite a lot. I mean, all of these Traffic players just showing a bit of their chemistry here. And now we're here 5-5, but Steve, you know, I gotta say, I think Traffic has got to change something up on defense if they're gonna want to get a break.
Yeah, and I saw earlier in the game that they were, you know, the veteran team with so much experience. They tried to play a really intimidating man-to-man, and that seemed to work at the start. But now Sixers seem to be getting into a groove on the offensive side. Maybe, as you said, they could change it up by maybe giving them a couple of different looks. I really like what the Sixers did earlier, where they played a zone and then broke to man, especially if you're going downwind here, trying to make them throw to the side that the wind is spiraling, and you know, use the stadium to their advantage here. The heat and the spiraling winds. Maybe they can throw a junk here for the first couple of passes.
Yeah, you never want an offensive line to get too comfortable seeing the same defense over and over again. So even if you change it around once or twice, it is good to throw different looks at them.
Catherine Hui now with 2 goals and 3 assists so far for Traffic. Leading point getter on the Sixers to this point, Anushka Beaudry, 4 assists. She has the disc now for the Sixers. Kinoshita for Beaudry. Beaudry, a little flip back for number 77, Karin-Chan Lim. Beaudry being marked by Julia Jean. Big huck. Can she get it? Oh, just beyond the outstretched hands of number 51, Sarah Ennis.
Oh man, I really like the play call on that. It was a gutsy move, but they did it, and they almost came with it. The receiver stopped just a little bit before she went on a big sprint and wasn't able to come up with it. Nice effort though.
Traffic. Oh, what a grab. Down low, Erin Boson. Bussin' down the field, looking for Terry Whitehead. That doesn't go, but what a grab by Bussin'. Tremendous athleticism to reach back and keep that disc alive. Kinoshita for Jordan Marin. Marin with the big huck, and
bit of a miscommunication on that play.
Bussin', and then she throws it away.
interesting seeing Bussin and Marin playing against each other in this situation as well. They were captains together at Western, so they know each other very well. They know their play styles very well, so definitely interesting to see this matchup.
Yeah.
Beaudry for Kinoshita. Kinoshita on the doorstep, back for Beaudry. Beaudry into the end zone for Kinoshita.
Can't say enough about Beaudry and Kinoshita right now. They are doing a great job for the Sixers on transition, and we don't talk about them very much on defense, so that's because they're playing stifling D. Part of playing great defense is just not being heard from and that you're shutting your person down. An excellent catch in the end zone as well. We knew that they were going to play well. We had been told by the captain to look for them, and they've lived up to that billing. It's funny that you mentioned the Bussin and Marin thing. I wanted to mention that because they were so close, and I really feel as though they helped take the women's program at Western to another level. I know that when I played there, we actually used to practice men and women on the same fields and really work and collaborate with one another. And then when Marin and Bussin and that group came, they just took it to another level and were able to compete with some of the other powerhouse teams, finishing silver at one point. And it's always great to have those leaders. The only problem with college is people move on, and so you need to make sure that there's a way to keep that leadership going. And I think having Tanya Gonzalez run the team as a head coach has helped stabilize the Western team.
Yeah, pretty great to see them playing against each other here now as well. I did have a chance to play against them when they were captains together in 2013, and we were always very intimidated by them as well. They're quite the pair, and definitely interesting to see them on opposite sides of the field now.
And that disc goes out on the pull, so it'll come out to the brick. 20 yards out from the Traffic goal line, and Traffic now trailing 6-5 since the one blemish. Mason looking deep for Hui. Oh, and she comes down with it. Catherine Hui.
The Traffic team knows that they're driving a Formula One car when it comes to Catherine Hui, so they're not afraid to put the pedal to the metal and throw it out there. Just get it out and use her incredible talent to come up with a disc. Nice box out there. I mean, nice grab. Very tough matchup for anybody on the Sixers that's trying to shut down Catherine Hui.
Yeah, Catherine Hui, she's been involved in every single point so far for Traffic in these 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists, showing just exactly how dominant she is. And Traffic needing a little bit of something different on defense here. We've seen them do so well on their offensive line, but yet to get a break in this game.
Yeah. And I think it's not been a case of, in the most recent points, it's not been a case of Traffic doing something fundamentally bad. I think it's just the Sixers have found out how to play against this. So maybe, as you said, they should look at some ways to shift it up, whether it's changing who plays against who or maybe throwing some wrinkles. We did see a zone a couple of points ago. Maybe if they could throw something on just to give a look. Trapping on the sideline might be something but the problem is that both these teams are so deep. Who are you going to trap on the sideline? Like the 3 handler sets, they all look pretty good. Like Laura Mason there, I saw her make a breakthrow a couple of plays ago, and there's no way that you can cover that. I mean, she just threw a flick on the break side over the top. It's very hard to stop somebody like that, but you got to try.
Beaudry with the disc now. As dominant as Hui has been on the Traffic side of the ledger, Anushka Beaudry with 5 assists has been in on 5 of the 6 goals scored by the Sixers. And there's a little bit of encroachment and a turnover by the Sixers. And now Traffic will look to get their second lead of this gold medal match. Little shot inside for Ellen Au-Young. Nice reach there, and looking deep into the end zone, just beyond the reach of Jamie Cott.
So close on that play. Traffic really moved the disc well there.
Karin-Chan Lim with the disc. And out there now for the first time, somebody very familiar to the lady sitting directly to my right, Helen Thompson out there. You know her pretty well, don't you, Becky?
Yeah, that is my twin sister playing down there for Traffic. This is actually her second point of the game, and her Helen looking for the big huck there, something she loves to do. Her and I go throw together a lot, and she will be hucking several times in this game.
Sarah Innes and a stoppage. And Helen, along with Becky, will be part of that under-24 team in January in Perth, Australia, representing Canada. Easy picking for Kinoshita. And then there's Sally.
What a throw against the wind. Wow.
Yeah, Beaudry and Kinoshita, they as well, members of the U20 team in Poland last summer that did take home the World Championship gold medal with their coach, Carla De Filippo, who you actually see on the far side of the Sixers huddle with the clipboard, the coach of the Sixers, coach of that team, and clearly trusting her young players who she knows so well to deliver in this game.
I think I'm going to write down for a scouting report for those two players, plays well together. I'm going to do it in ink because I'm not changing my mind on that. So far, so good. They look great together. So I had the privilege of actually, we see the highlight here. What a throw. I mean, there's just nothing that Buston can do there. What a great throw. She tried to play the angle on it over the top. Great celebration, too. So I had the privilege of, the first time I actually met the Thompson sisters, I actually had the privilege of seeing you guys compete against another in a university national final. What was that like for you?
It was really exciting. It was one of those things where we gave each other a quick hug before the game and agreed not to speak the rest of the time. And we couldn't speak for about half an hour after the game as well, considering that my team did beat her in that university series win. But
what's that like at home when you got bragging rights?
I don't talk about it, considering the fact that she's made Team Canada 3 more times than I have. So she's got something to throw right back at me.
Traffic starting out now. Ning had to go down low. Madison moves that up for Moans. Moans looking deep once again. Looking for Mason. Can she come down with it? Yes, she can!
Nice grab by Laura Mason on there. I mean, Traffic has a lot of confidence in their receivers. They're throwing it up there, and they're really using their height to the advantage so far.
Yeah, we thought we would see a big huck game from Traffic, and right away we've seen Laura Mason, Catherine Hui, and Rachel Mowens all shooting deep on so many of these points, and then Anushka Beaudry on the other side of the disc. When you have gunslingers like that, why not take those deep shots?
I think the adjustment for the Sixers is they have to try and find a way. The jump balls are going to be tough. I know when I played men's open, it was really hard to go against, 6'4". You can't compete against that. You got to try and stop the hucks from coming out first. So that's an easier way to do it. But the problem with someone like Rachel Mowens is she positioned herself perfectly to get that break throw and then made the throw. You got to stay close to your person and try to stop those hucks to make it as easy as possible for your defenders downfield.
Yeah, and maybe some of the marks here for both Traffic and Sixers, maybe just going a little bit more straight up on the mark, trying to stop the angle for that huck so you can shift over a little bit faster. But we've seen so far Anushka Beaudry favoring her flick huck, whereas Rachel Mowens favoring her backhand. So maybe a little bit of a straight up mark could help with that.
Yeah, it's easier to straight up mark on someone that's a big backhander because they have to turn their hips before they make the throw. So I think that's an adjustment they should probably consider whoever's marking Mowens on that play.
Next goal will take us to our halftime break. 7 apiece. This is like a heavyweight championship boxing match, folks. Everybody's trading punches here.
Slobber knocker. Looks good so far. Exciting game.
Beaudry, Kinoshita.
Traffic's going to go really hard on the bails here. A team, it's a sign of a great team is you can shut down the easy passes into the backfield. Great defender back there challenging every throw.
Beaudry sends it to the outside for Erica Tucker, and there's a drop. First major blemish by the Sixers here in this first half. Hui looking deep. Nice defense there by number 77, Karin-Chan Lim. She's doing it on offense, and she's doing it on defense, too.
Nice play. Way to stick with it and make the aggressive D on that play.
Beaudry for Kinoshita. Sends it down. Bobak has it now. Marin was moving toward the goal. Bobak forced back. Here's Erica Tucker for Kinoshita. Kinoshita in the end zone. Great grab there! Sarah Innes takes us to the half!
Wow, what a nice play there. Really kudos to the Sixers. They got the turn and they moved it up. The defense for Traffic was really good on that point, but they were able to make a couple of fakes and get their guys open in the backfield. Goes up the line, catch is made, and the throw into the end zone, and just great catch.
Yeah, and Traffic still unable to break down the Sixers offense. We see Sixers leading by a break up, and they will have the opportunity to start back on offense in the second half. So Traffic really needing to find a way to break them down. Otherwise, Sixers will maintain this advantage that they have.
Traffic has, this is the most points that Traffic has given in the entire tournament, and it's only a halftime score. So it shows you that they are in a game today.
The most goals you could possibly have in an opening half of a gold medal ultimate match, 15. And Traffic trails the Sixers by a single goal. We'll take a break and be back with more of the gold medal match in the women's division of the 2017 Canadian Ultimate Championships from the nation's capital after the break. Welcome back to MNP Park on the campus of Carleton University in the nation's capital, Ottawa, for the 2017 Canadian Ultimate Championships gold medal final in the women's division. And you can't get it any closer than what we've seen. Dan Mooney alongside Steve Traynor and Becky Thompson. 8-7 for the 6ixers. Traffic looking for their 5th national championship, and boy, have they got their hands full.
Yeah, it's been a really, really fun first half, and fun for the fans, and sure, fun for the both teams. I think both teams can be confident knowing Traffic with their experience, knowing that they're just down by 1, that they have a chance to come back in this game and use their veteran savvy. On the other hand, 6ixers are saying, wow, we scored more points already in this game than anybody in the tournament against them. And they've got the young, cockiness that you need in order to challenge somebody like Traffic. And they stood up to Traffic's tough defense early in the first half.
Here's the first half highlights, and 15 goals. You can't get any more than that.
It was really interesting to see how both teams came out. They had lots of hucks right off the bat. They were able to, off the hucks, they were able to use some nice quick passes, use the break throws and that stuff. But both teams showed a lot of athleticism early on and some good throws. Catherine Yu was definitely dominant in the air for Traffic. On the other side, Anushka Beaudry was really, really impressive, among others for the 6ixers. But I would say that as we look in the second half, we can see a lot of the same people that stepped up in the first half for both teams to be carrying the torch in the second half. What do you think, Becca?
I mean, I think it's been quite the incredible first half of play, and these teams, both of them now tightening their benches a little bit, knowing we've got an entire second half, but I won't be surprised to see this game go all the way to the end, 14-14, maybe a universe point situation, the way these two teams are competing. These two teams have never played each other before. This is their first time matching up, and clearly this is the battle of the Titans here.
Certainly living up to its billing as a gold medal championship. It doesn't get any tighter than this, and both teams have been opening things up all for the entire first half. The huck has been so predominant, especially in light of the fact that there's swirling winds here at MNP Park.
Yeah, these players are really hitting excellent marks on their hucks. They are throwing them when there's a cutter who's 100% open, so making sure they have time to run onto the disc, throwing it into space, not into too much contest. However, players like Sarah Boback and Laura Mason proving that when there is contest, they can come down with the disc. So relying on those big players to make big plays, and that's what you want in a final situation.
Well, in a championship final, Steve Traynor, your best players have to be your best players. And on both sides of the ledger, Laura Kinoshita and Anushka Beaudry for the 6ixers, their best players have been their best players. And on Traffic, Catherine Hui, 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists, and Laura Mason with 4 points. Their best players have been their best players as well.
Absolutely, and that's, as a fan, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a final where whoever makes the least amount of mistakes wins. You want to see everybody playing to the best that they can. They did that in the first half, and hopefully they'll be able to do it in the second half. Big thing in terms of the coaches, I would say, if you're the coach of Toronto, you want to make sure that you stop those hucks and those jump balls coming out. And if you're on the Traffic side, you've got to find a way to shut down Beaudry and Kinoshita because they're doing such a good job of playing together.
Here's Beaudry in the second half underway in this gold medal final of the women's division. The 2017 Canadian Ultimate Championships. And boy, what a great week it's been. Beaudry finds Sarah Innes. Innes for Kinoshita. Kinoshita brings that back for Erica Tucker. Tucker, little flip out for Beaudry. Beaudry looking into the end zone. Nope. It's Innes. Innes back for Beaudry. Beaudry into the corner, finds Kinoshita. And the touchdown dance once again from Laura Kinoshita. She has another goal, and Beaudry has her 7th point of this game. And for the first time, a 2-goal advantage has been opened up.
Is this deja vu? Am I seeing the same thing over and over again here? I just want to give hats off to those two players for continuing to connect the end zone. But one thing I did notice is Erica Tucker, who is kind of that unsung person on this offensive line. I noticed her keep the disc alive by cutting from the front of the stack and having a nice pass out to the middle of the field, which allowed all those break passes over on the side. You need people like that in order to keep the disc alive. She didn't get a credit for a goal or assist, but that was really, really good strategic play by Erica Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker just showing a little bit of the experience side of this Sixers team. She's been around for quite a long time, a coach as well for the Toro junior women who did make the final this year, so a lot of experience on her side, and that shows when you're able to just play your role effectively and take care of the disc in those situations. But Anushka Beaudry and Laura Kinoshita, I mean, I think every goal, all 4 goals that Kinoshita has scored have been assisted by Beaudry at this point.
Yeah, the connection is strong. The force is strong with those two right now, and why not continue to do it? I mean, they're getting tough yards, they're getting break yards, they're throwing long to one another. They really are in sync with one another right now.
9-7, and if it continues at this pace, this is going to be like an old-fashioned road hockey game. Last goal wins. Michelle Ning. Ning finds Mason. Despite the good work by Cindy Trong. Hui. Mason. Mason for Madison. Madison. Nice grab there by number 29, Ellen Young. Forehand for Mason. Ning. Great grab inside by Hui. With Miriam Tingle right there defending. Madison. Madison trying to go into the end zone for Mowens. Little flip over the top for Ning. Ning has Mason, or had Mason open for a second. Couldn't find her. Little shot inside, and Rachel Mowens scores.
Full value to traffic on that. There was no free lunches on that play. Every single defender was really trying to get the D there, really tough on the bails, and they continued to just work it back and forth. Some very nice throws, and it ends with a goal by Mowens in the end zone. Good job by traffic on that play.
Another case there of how disciplined their end zone offenses are, waiting for those opportunities, swinging it around, not shooting it in until they had to. Michelle Ning had a couple cutters going up the line for her there, but under tight coverage, she didn't force it, and then Rachel Mowens wide open in the middle of the end zone.
And we've all been there before. You know, you're playing in front of a big crowd. You have the chance to score, throw the continuation pass into the end zone. But if you're really committed to the team and committed to winning that gold medal, you're going to need to play exactly like they did and just get it back into the middle and throw that nice pass to an open Mowens on that play.
Sixers now still up a break in this situation. And again, on offense here, traffic, I don't know what they're going to need to do at this point to change it up, but something different is going to have to happen for them on defense.
Yeah, on the first point of this half, we saw some really good defense, so I can't fault them for the people that they're selecting to play. The coach has done a good job in terms of the matchups. It's just the Sixers have done a really good job of rising to this challenge and getting open and making throws. It's really hard to make a catch or make a throw when you got someone all over you, and that's what they're doing right now. So if you can't do it in the man-to-man or the person-to-person defense, you're going to have to think about different ways to shake things up just to confuse them if you can.
Tucker for Beaudry. Sixers start up the field with a 1-goal advantage. Beaudry looking deep once again, looking for Bobek. Oh!
Wow.
So close.
Sarah Bobek, who's a native of Ottawa, played juniors here in Ottawa, and actually had a silver medal with Bytown Flatball Club in 2007. Has moved all over Canada playing. She almost came down with that. What a big throw by Beaudry. Oh, so close.
Rena Kawabata out there now. And a mistake as that pass too far for Jessica Rockcliffe. And the Sixers with an opportunity here to restore their 2-goal advantage. Beaudry. Little flip out. And into the end zone. Yes!
Jordan
Marin with her second goal of the game. Makes it 10-8 Sixers.
It almost seems as if that's not her first time towing the line in the end zone to make sure that she scores. But a great grab there. The throw is really nice too. Good disc movement here. Patient throw out to space. A lot of confidence in Marin. That's why you make such a tight throw. Traffic, 2 people on her. They had a chance to come in there, but the throw was good enough. The catch was good, and she towed the line. Nice little disc spike afterwards. I love watching this game with Rebecca here because, it is early in the game, 10-8 still, but every pass is just, it seems tense. Like the defense has been tight, and we know that every time there's a turnover, the back and forth of the momentum is kind of swinging. So 10-8 for the Sixers. If you're the traffic team, you can't be worried because you have the experience. You have 4 titles in your history, so that if they are in a good position to come back, if any team was going to come back from a 2-point deficit at this point.
I mean, definitely Traffic have the capability. They have the experience to come back, as well as knowing that their mental game is really strong. So taking 1 point at a time, 1 throw at a time, just needing to find that energy here. They haven't, this is the first time in this tournament where they haven't had a break yet in the game. So just needing to remind themselves to stick to their game plan, and that will come for them.
Traffic. Sorry, Steve.
Oh, as Rebecca said before, they're shortening the benches now. They're in it to win it.
Mullins. Oh, and a wonderful defensive play there by Miriam Tingle. Knocking it away. And that is exactly what Traffic did not want to have happen. Chen out there. Flips that out for Cindy Trong. And a mistake there as Laura Kinoshita couldn't catch up with that pass. And now the mistake made by Traffic seconds ago really isn't going to hurt them if they can put one in the end zone here. Mason for Hui. Catherine Hui back for Laura Mason. Low pass, and that one knocked down, and a dispute now between Katie Hikita and I believe that's Cindy Trong.
That's some tight D by Cindy Trong on that play. And there's going to be discussion of whether or not there was a true foul here. This throw comes out. It's a little too close to the ground, and they both bid for it. That's tough. Hopefully the observers had a good perspective and could step in and help with the call.
Yeah, I think Hikita may have just got her hand underneath the disc with Trong maybe landing on that disc and causing a strip, but hard to see from this angle. It looks like the observers will rule in the favor of Katie Hikita.
Okay. Well, when that disc is out there, it belongs to both of them. Hikita finds Mullins. Mullins looking into the end zone. Yes! Great grab by Michelle Ning. And Traffic gets a very necessary score.
Michelle Ning's had a very good, quiet game. She's played really well, been a real glue player for Traffic so far. I also found that Laurel J has been very good when she's gotten out there as well. Maybe we'll see more of them as the game goes along here because they've got the speed to stay with these young Sixers players.
Yeah, 2 players who are just extremely consistent, kind of parallel to Erica Tucker on the Sixers side, who's playing in that consistent role, taking care of the disc and playing the role perfectly of that person who can come in and constantly moving the disc around, being a bit of a playmaker, but nothing too showy in these situations. And sometimes that's what you need in order to win a championship game.
There have been some periodic drops which teams have, taken advantage of. But other than that, it's been a nearly flawless performance by both teams. They haven't really made any major errors in this one. It's been tight marking all the way through on both sides, and some, which forces the teams to make great plays, and they've done it.
I love these types of gold medal games because these are the ones that people are going to be able to see on the live stream. We thank everyone that's watching on ultimatecanada.tv, and I love having these ones in the history books so you can go back and see what the level of play was like at this time and really inspire some of the girls and guys that are watching this game and moving up in the junior ranks to get to see what it looks like to play some great high-level ultimate.
Beaudry. Little flip up there for Sarah Innes. Innes looking for some support. Finds Tucker. Tucker. Little forehand up the sidelines for Jordan Marin. Kinoshita. Little bump there from Ellen Au-Young. Nice play for Tucker. And she got that one to Karin-Chan Lim, but it's coming back.
Tucker again being that person at the front of the stack that's keeping the disc alive on the break dump. It's crucial. Just a matter of whether or not her pass is going to go back to her on this. I don't think whatever call affected the play, so hopefully it'll be able to stay with the Sixers where it is now.
I believe it was just a pick call upfield with Anushka Beaudry getting a little too open further up the field there.
And there's the bump, but that wasn't the call. Kinoshita has it on the near sideline. Kinoshita for Karin-Chan Lim. Chan Lim throws it away.
Oh, they had it right there. They could have just waited and let the person cut a little closer and make it easier on that. But that's what we talked about. It's that pull. You get later on in the game, you get tired and you want to win. You want to win this gold medal. You kind of force those throws, or you tighten up a little bit. Unfortunately, we haven't seen many of those today.
Karin-Chan Lim probably wishes that one was on a string and she could pull it back.
Yeah.
And there's another turnover there as Jamie caught. Unable to catch onto the disc. Here's Anushka Beaudry. Beaudry. Nice play for Bobak. Back to Beaudry. Beaudry for Tucker. Anushka Beaudry, 7 assists so far in this game. She's figured in on all but 2 of the Sixers' goals. Kinoshita for Beaudry. Beaudry for Erica Tucker. Tucker down low, finds Kinoshita for goal number 5 here in this gold medal match.
I am just loving the way that this team is playing offense here. I mean, well, what can we say? I mean, they just move that disc exactly how the coach tells you to do it over and over again, and they just are being really unselfish with it, making good hard cuts, but the throws are there. Like, who cares about the win? They are just throwing it. They're impervious to the win right now, so moving it quite quickly.
Yeah, and the offensive line there as well for the Sixers, just showing that they're just as capable of playing defense as they are of playing offenses. Despite the turnover, they set up in a quick to set up in a zone set there to stop traffic's any chance of momentum, any chance of a quick transition, and forcing a turnover very quickly and capitalizing on the next mistake. So their offensive line just playing at such an elite level right now.
How do you think they've been able to? In the second half, I haven't seen Traffic use the huck as much, mostly because we just started the second half. But how do you think the Sixers have been able to stop that?
I think the Sixers are just backing them a little bit more in the lane, so forcing them to cut under and work the unders a little bit harder. And we've seen Traffic be able to do that with their offensive line. However, on defense, they're not finding too many options when they do get those turnovers.
They've traded punches the entire gold medal match with just 2 consecutive scores of 2 by the Sixers. They led 8-7 at the half, and they got the first possession in the second half to get 2 scores in a row, 2 consecutive scores. That pass just too far for number 77, Jennifer Kwok. but it's been so close here in this gold medal final. Traffic from British Columbia in white. The 6ixers from Ontario in the black jerseys, and that low pass results in a turnover and gives Traffic an opportunity here.
Unfortunate turnover there, and see if Traffic can capitalize.
Mason looks for Hui. Mason forced back. Ning. Michelle Ning. That one batted away by number 28, Jenna McLeod.
Wow, that play was, it looked like I could see it coming. Great play by McLeod to run that down.
And now, both teams will seize the moment here and use the timeout, just regroup, and get some fresh bodies out there to do exactly what they need to do given their specific situations.
Here's the throw out to space. And like I said, there's so many good defensive players in this game that if you don't have the perfect cut or the perfect throw, whatever, the defenders are tight enough that they can cut off the angle and make a D. And it was emphatic smackdown on that play. They call a timeout because they want to make sure that they capitalize on this. This is the second turnover on the point. Might be getting a little bit tired, so they get a bit of a rest, and the coach gets to implement what he wants to do in terms of the offensive philosophy.
Yeah, I really like that timeout call from the 6ixers. At this point, if you can convert here, making this game 12-9, you can comfortably trade points all the way to a championship win. So a good call here, looking to convert. I won't be surprised, Steve, to see another vertical sack huck play coming out of this timeout.
Well, the Canadian Championships is successful, has been successful all week long due to the fact that they have volunteers. It couldn't be done without the volunteers, and the programming here on Rogers TV couldn't be done without the support of our volunteers as well. Rogers TV ensures that you'll receive top quality training and guidance whether you've got little or no experience at all. If you want to learn a skill that can send you on a career path or just learn about how television works, sign up at our website at www.rogerstv.com. Click on the tab Volunteers.
So right out of the timeout, we had a very quick turnover there, and Traffic gets the disc back with the chance to score.
Mowens into the end zone. Guess who? Catherine Hui.
Catherine Hui is as exciting to watch as it is to see her. You know, her stats are incredible, but as watching her in person is definitely worth the price of admission. She is really, really good at feeding her teammates and creating openings and creating targets that Mowens and the other star players on Traffic can hit very easily. So she has been racking up the points today.
And Mowens certainly taking on a more prominent role here in the second half as you look at Helen Thompson, the twin sister of Becky Thompson, the lady sitting to my right, a member of the Canadian under-24 team. And that'll be her fourth time representing the Maple Leaf.
Yeah, Helen was a member of the under-20 team back in 2010 and 2012 in Germany, and then in Dublin, and the under-23 team back in London in 2015 as well, and now in Perth. So 4 times as a Team Canada athlete. It's been pretty impressive to watch.
Now, besides your sister, who obviously is who you're excited to play with for Team Canada, who are you excited about playing with at the U24?
I mean, all of these players are absolutely incredible, and we've seen quite a lot of talent here. Most of our teammates are here this weekend. Members of the General Strike team who just played in the final previous to this, 3 of them, great guys, and it was exciting to watch them in the final, so I definitely have to say them.
Anushka Beaudry. Tucker forced back, finds Karin-Chan Lim, and Beaudry has it once again. Leading 11-10. 6ixers in possession of the disc. Wow, dangerous play there. And some tenacious defense has the 6ixers back inside their own end zone. There's the steal for the score! A great defensive play
legend Terry Whitehead. We talked about her before the game started, and she steps up with a crucial Callahan to tie the game. Zone was on from the start, and technically just throwing it out there is just really, really tough. And Whitehead baits it, runs it down, and catches it. What a great job by Whitehead.
Like you said, Steve, an absolute legend. It's such a pleasure to watch her play and come up with a big play like that. You can hear the crowd chanting her name. Everybody here knows who she is. They love to watch her play, and that is a huge break for Traffic. That's their first break of the game, and that could be a real momentum shift. Now that they know that they are capable of breaking down the Sixers offense, I would be excited to see what they're going to do right now.
Yeah, and we saw the first time that they put on a real legitimate zone there, and it was it looked like a 2-3-2 or 2-3-2-1 or something like that, but it definitely put a lot of pressure on them and forced them to make that throw. The coach right out on the field for the Sixers talking about what they want to do when they face that again, because I could pretty much guarantee you Traffic's coming down with the exact same thing. If they can have the exact same 7 players on the field, they'll do that. But they want to make sure that they get it down and get the zone on as soon as possible.
Yeah, Steve, it does look like they've kept the same people on the field. You know, a quick point there and a huge break. Why not keep those 7 on the field?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sixers now. Beaudry. Momentum has shifted here. We've got a tie game, 11 apiece. Bobat. 10-second stall count, almost running out of time.
They're running out of racetrack. They got to get more people coming in and flooding the zone here.
Kinoshita, and a great defensive play there. Jessica Rockcliffe has Traffic on the doorstep for another lead. Here's Rachel Mowens on the goal line. Everybody's set. Traffic. Yes! Number 24, Julia Zhang. And it's 12-11 for Traffic. What a turn of events. 3 straight points, and now they lead 12-11.
Well, they had problems with the zone again, and it led to the turnover. They all thought they almost had it broken there, but they got D'd. And then Mowens, who was really starting to pick up the points in terms of the assists. That's another throw for her into the end zone. 2 Sixers players close to the disc in the end zone, but not close enough. Good throw by Mowens. Regroup, timeout called by Sixers. And they worked so hard to build up that 2-point lead, and just like that, gone. That's why you can't underestimate a team that's won the national championships 4 times.
What a second half for Rachel Mowens. A goal and 3 assists so far, just in the second half alone.
Yeah, Rachel Mowens doing what she does best. She's absolutely a go-getter for a team like Traffic. She wants to win. She wants it bad, and they're showing that right now. This team, a huge momentum shift for Traffic. They just needed that opportunity at one break to know that what they are capable of doing in this game. Sixers now just need to keep their heads a bit. That's 2 tough points, a Callahan and a turnover, almost a second Callahan right on your end zone line. So just needing to make sure that they know that their game plan is still there. They have led this game for almost the entire match so far. So need to take a deep breath and know that they're still capable of winning this.
Important for the Sixers to sort of sit back, just breathe, and get back into this one, because now they trail by a single goal and they've been trading them back and forth. This is the first significant run of this gold medal match. 3 straight points by Traffic.
The big thing is I can, from my perspective, from the O-line handlers, they need to have 3 or 4 in there, and they need to have a flood of receivers coming in and just making those easy passes. And the thing about this type of zone is you cannot sit and hold the disc on the sidelines, because your options get smaller and smaller as the stall count goes in. They take away your easy passes. They take away, and so you need to have your players come as close to you as possible to make those small passes, as opposed to throwing it over the top. Once you get a couple of passes through, then you can look for the huck, but you need to work together as a team.
Offside called here on Sixers, I believe, as they just maybe got a little bit too excited to start this point, maybe feeling a little bit of the energy, knowing that they need to score a point here if they want to stay in this.
Can't leave until the disc leaves the puller's hand.
No idea. I mean, offside is the only call that could have been, but I don't know if I'm sure. What is offside mean? That they crossed the end zone line.
So they'll do it all over again.
It looks like they've combined Rebecca, it looks like they've combined the O and D lines together to put 7 strong out there to try and get this goal.
Yeah, I think we're looking at the top 7 players here in Sixers' eyes, so definitely a strong line out here. They need this point.
Yeah, they've got all the throws on this line. Let's see what they can do.
Tucker for Anushka Beaudry. Beaudry, far side. Lauren Kimura moves that up. Marin for Jeannette Kwok. Here's Kimura. Kimura running out of time, finds Beaudry. Beaudry looks into the corner. Here's Marin. Marin tried to quick hit for Bobak. Back out. Jeannette Kwok. Kwok tried to go into the corner. There's a shot right inside, right on the goal line for Tucker. Tucker forced back. Kwok into the end zone for Beaudry.
Clinical. That was beautiful. And that's just goes to show you the same zone got applied, but they made a couple of adjustments after the timeout, and they were off to the races on that play. They once Marin got it in the midfield, it was boom, 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 and the zone broke up into a person-to-person, because that's how you break it. Those being close, making those quick, short passes, and not holding on to it on the sideline. Good job by the Sixers. Great for the fans. I mean, everyone is like on their seats. You know, it's a 12-12 game, gold medal for the national championship. You just could not ask for more exciting.
No, absolutely. This is what you want to see in a gold medal game. The 2 best teams going head-to-head here, 12-12, game to 15. So a lot of excitement here. You know, 3 more points and one of these teams could be winning, but I think we're going to be seeing a universe point situation at this rate.
Here's the question I want to ask. If you are the coach of traffic and considering you get another chance to start off on defense, do you go back to the zone or do you try something different?
You know, I think you do go back to the zone. I know that Sixers did go into that timeout and they were able to readjust, but it completely stopped them twice with a Callahan, a goal line turnover. It's just enough to maybe cause them to shake in their boots just a tiny bit. So I would go back and just recognizing to shift to that person-to-person very quickly when it breaks down.
That Callahan was intimidating. I mean, when something like that happens, it's like the way the crowd jumped in excitement. The opposite negative reaction for the Sixers. That'll still be in the back of their head as we move forward, I'm sure.
Ning. Up over the hands of Mason. And it's grabbed by Kinoshita. And she took a hit there from Catherine Hui. And she's got to get some attention.
Oh, you really hope that she's not hurt. Hopefully it's just a little shaken up. She's played so well today.
Maybe the wind knocked out of her.
Yeah, hopefully.
That disc just caught a gust. All the way into the end zone. Tingo!
Huge break for the Sixers on that play.
Sixers really needed to score that after that turnover, and that was unfortunate. It just bobbled out of Laura Mason's hands, but a great heads-up D from Laura Kinoshita to turn around and get that, absorbing the contact. I think just a little bit of winded on that play. You see she's already out cheering with her teammates as they got that goal, but Sixers leading traffic 13-12. I mean, this is absolutely a barn burner of a game.
This is probably the Lauren Kimura. That's probably the nicest throw I've seen all day from her. That was a sweet flick huck to space, into the wind, and still it just sat there and allowed the player to run underneath it. So.
Kimura as well, a member of traffic originally, so just maybe knowing exactly what set they were going to put out at them, and we've seen her control the play in the last 2 points.
That's right, and you know, she had played a lot of D points earlier in the game, but when they needed to get the point on offense, they put her out there, and she stayed on for the next D point. Wow, it is so close right now. We've got got one team that's only 2 points away from a gold medal. You've got another team that's 3 points away.
And Mo just switched jerseys again.
Yeah. The big thing is hopefully, Kinoshita is going to be okay to get back into the game. She's just so important. You can see that she's back out on the field, which is fantastic.
A player of that caliber, you can't sit them long.
No.
No, I think just a little bit shaken up on that play. It's good always to make sure that you're okay, but she's back on, and we're seeing their top 7 people continuously playing here as Lauren Kimura is also back out on the field.
Here's Ning. Good defensive posture from Kimura. Finds Hui all the way down, well ahead of Laura Mason, the intended target. And now Traffic has to go on defense again, trailing by a single point. Right into the hands of Jeannette Kwok. And there's a drop. Bobek. That one too hot to handle. Ning. For number 77, Karin-Chan, or make that Jennifer Kwok. Ning. For Mason. Hui. A yard, 2 yards out, little flip. And that one, not the most prudent of throws by Catherine Hui.
Cross-body lefty, woo.
Here's the big hook. Batted away there by Ellen Ao-Young.
It's not Ao-Young's first great defensive play of the day, but wow, that was timely.
I think that was a good shot from Anushka Beaudry there. Sydney Chirong was open initially, but that disc just hung up in the air long enough for Ao-Young to catch up, and we've seen her elevate more than once in this game, like you said, Steve, so incredible D there from Ellen Ao-Young.
Mason on the far side. Flip in for Catherine Hui.
Sixers have to play hard defense here, allow no ins on this play. They gotta tighten it up and make it really tough for Traffic to move it up the field. We were talking before about Lauren Kimura. Just got a text from a former junior coach that said she was absolutely unstoppable in 2009 as a junior player, and continuing to be such a strong player now.
Jessica Rockcliffe out there, and another mistake by Traffic.
If you're the Sixers, the first thing you want to do is go back to what you've done so well, and that's move the disc off the line and be unselfish with it.
And get it in the hands of Beaudry, who gets it in the hands of Lauren Kimura. And the Sixers, one goal away from a national championship.
Or making a super hot pass up the sideline. That works too. Forget about what I said about getting in the middle. That's a good throw too. Look at this. Beaudry is just so amazing in this game. I don't want to use hyperboles, but that was a sweet throw with a crosswind. Kimura with a really, really great cut. That's probably the best cut I've seen her do today. She's really stepping it up when it's most important. Timeout called right now. And this has just been such an exciting game. It's been really exciting. You okay over there?
I mean, this is absolutely a phenomenal game to watch. This is what you want in a championship final. And we saw Traffic go on a 3-point run there, and then a timeout call from the Sixers, and the Sixers answer right back with their own 3-point run. So not going away quietly. And Traffic, their own timeout call now, probably, at this point, they're going to need 3 straight points to win. So we're seeing games to 3 right now. Teams just doing everything they can to win this final game. It is clear how badly they both want it.
I got to tell you, when they got the Callahan and then they made it a 12-11 game, I thought there was only one team that was going to win this game, and that's the beauty of this sport, is that it is not over until it is over.
Thank you, Yogi.
Thank you. Yeah, we're at cliche time. This timeout has been taking too long. We're now at cliches. But yeah, I'm just impressed by the poise of a young team, and I think it bodes well for Toronto Ultimate in the future, regardless of what happens today.
So Traffic just needing an offensive hold here, and then they're going to need a break to tie it up. And we saw they were able to get those 2 breaks, but those are still their only 2 breaks of the game that they've managed to get. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do, and it looks like they're bringing out the same top people. We've seen this line several times now. And same with the Sixers. They're 1 point away from a national championship.
Yeah. We see Terry Whitehead on the sideline. She's high-fiving every single one of her teammates there. Love to see her back out there. When she has played, she's had some awesome plays, but you could not ask for better 7 players to come out there and play offense right now for Traffic. And they need to focus on just one play at a time. They cannot think about what the score is. One play at a time until the final buzzer sounds.
You start thinking about MVPs of this one. I don't think you have to look any further than Anushka Beaudry. A goal and 8 assists.
Yes. And if we have to wait to see who wins, I still don't know who's going to win, right? If we look at the other side, Rachel Modes had a heck of a second half for Traffic, but Beaudry has been outstanding.
Mones has it. That one threaded the needle. Back for number 29, Ellen Ao-Young. Mason, Ning. Great D! Jessica Chen! Wow! Laying out!
This is what we've seen from the 6ixers all day. They've been able to make these big plays, these necessary plays, and readjust their cuts in order to fly through the air to make these Gs. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Nice flip, Lauren Kimura down. And the jump ball, Jeannette Kwok just losing out a little in the height department there.
That's right. Just wasn't able to do it. She tried to box out. Was a smart play by her, but good play by Traffic to get the disc back.
That's Ellen Ao-Young with another D on a huck again.
Oh, Mason has it now. An inadvertent completion. And Mason going deep. And we can't get past Miriam Tingle.
I think we've now seen everything in this game. So Hui has done such a good job, saved so many discs. It was tough looking back into the sun, trying to come up with it. She boxed out pretty well. Just good defense. Tingle with a good job. I mean, we talked about her earlier in the game, but she was going to be somebody that could be relied on defensively, and she's done that today.
Kimura gets it out for Chen. Chen back inside. Great effort there by Cindy Trong, but unable to come up with it, and now Traffic has life. Ning looking into the end zone. Can we bring it down? Oh, yes.
Giving Catherine Hui too many chances to come back in this game is never a good idea. So it's definitely something if you're Sixers, that point is over. 14-13. This is now. Put your 7 best players on the field and let's go. You'll see a highlight here. This throw is pretty awesome too. Out to space. I love it. I love the break throws that have been on display in this game. I love the depth of both teams. I think that this is really promising for people in Ottawa that don't always get to see the top women's players from Vancouver, from Toronto, to get to see them play here. And hopefully we'll see them next year at No Borders. And it's just great to have all the best players in Canada here on the same field playing and doing so well.
Yeah, and we hoped we were going to see a close game here, but I think quite a few of us thought that it would go in the favor of Traffic near the start of this match. They were favored to win this, having won 4 national championships and going for that record win, but the Sixers just proving that they can go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with this team. They are running with them, and they lead 14-13, starting on offense, a chance to get an offensive hold for a national championship, their first ever as a program.
They've had 3 chances already.
No matter what happens, we are going to talk about this game for a couple of years, for years down the future. It's going to be epic no matter what happens from here on in.
Here come the Sixers. Beaudry across. Lauren Kimura. Sixers playing a little kitty bar the door, almost running out of time there. Little flip down. Marin had to juggle that one. Here's Kimura. Beaudry. Beaudry into the end zone. Great defense! Oh my! It doesn't get any finer!
Kawabata with her first big play of the day. That is Excellent play. What a read by Rena. And then she runs it down and she makes a great play on this.
I think Beaudry just getting a little bit excited there with the possibility of winning a national championship and punching it into the end zone a little bit early.
Yeah.
Kawabata didn't get a piece of that, but she may have just broken the concentration of Laura Kinoshita. Laurel J. J moves it across for Kawabata. Kawabata. Nice pass inside for Zhang. Zhang looking deep, and that's picked off by Bobak.
Both teams got to settle it down here and get back to what made them successful early on. Got to work the disc up. Sixers really going to the same people every time here now. That's what they got to do. They got to.
Kimura, looking downfield. Sarah Innes has it. Bobak breaking. Innes can't get her the disc. Kinoshita for Beaudry. Beaudry. Kinoshita. Looking for a cutter. Finds Kimura. Lauren Kimura into the end zone! Oh, no call yet.
Looks like there was a pick call on that play. Both Sarah Bobek and Anushka Beaudry were pretty open in the end zone, so fair to say there may have been a pick on the play. Just some discussion happening here between the players to establish if it affected the play or not.
Yes.
The catch was made inbounds.
Yes.
And the indication from the observer was that the catch was indeed made, but now it boils down to this discussion.
And you'd like to see them resolve this quickly because we're all off of our seats waiting to find out whether or not a national champion has been earned or not.
Becky's pacing like an expectant father.
I mean, what an incredible feat for the Sixers in this position. Last year, their first year as a program, they go to the USA Series, and now coming to their first CUCs, and they have won!
It's a touch! It's a point! It's a goal! It's a national championship for the Sixers! And Traffic has to wait another year to break a record.
I mean, what an incredible game to watch. And like I just said, the Sixers, their first ever CUC's first national championship win. I think this is the start of a new dynasty that we are witnessing right now.
Incredible game, but just a rather anticlimactic way of ending it.
It's it's a shame that it was there had to be that discussion, but let's focus on so much positive in this game. We see a new national champion full of young players that are going to be good for a long time. And kudos to Traffic and to Traffic and to Sixers, who played such a spirited game. Very few calls in the game, very clean play, and lots of great plays as well. It's not so much as Traffic failed to win, but the Sixers really stepped up and played the best that we've ever seen them play. So kudos to both teams.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Steve. It's mostly the fact that the Sixers just played a phenomenal game. They were impeccable on defense, flying through to get those layout Ds on every chance, and then also on offense, absolutely flawless in this game. They got a little bit of a falter there when Traffic was able to get that Callahan and start to look like the momentum was going on their side, but they showed, despite their age, despite being young, they showed their experience and how they were able to continue on a run despite the momentum shift for Traffic.
It was incredible to watch. Glad to have experienced it with both you guys, and for those that are watching, it was interesting to see these people come of age and start to become big name players in the Canadian scene.
Now, the most valuable player in these gold medal matches is selected by the losing side officially, but we don't have that luxury for television, so it's up to you guys who to select. I mean, you've got Anushka Beaudry with 9 points, a goal, and 8 helpers in this one. That would seem like a reasonable decision to make, but 5 goals by Laura Kinoshita. So where do you go?
I mean, I definitely go to Anushka Beaudry for this one. She was phenomenal in this game. She shot so many times to the end zone, and I think every single throw she threw deep was absolutely perfect. And maybe you got to give Laura Kinoshita some credit here to say that the teamwork between those two give them the opportunity to be that great. But Anushka Beaudry, hands down, MVP for this game.
Final thoughts, Steve?
I agree completely. I was so impressed by Beaudry and Kinoshita and Marin and the entire Sixers team. Congratulations to the program. Many successful returns at Nationals, and thanks to Traffic for making it all the way out, and thanks to the organizers for doing such an amazing job. We have Ottawa is very proud to have Ultimate Parks and to be able to host on a semi-annual basis with having them come every few years to come and have Nationals here. I can't wait for the next Nationals. Great job by the organizers, great job by the Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association, and thanks to Rebecca and Kevin and all the people that have been helping with the streaming through the week.
And Ultimate Canada TV will be back next week with the mixed division in Saskatoon as well, so more games, more excitement still to come this week.
Becky, want to say thank you and want to wish you the best of luck in Perth, Australia in January, representing this country in the U24s. Thanks so much for being part of this. Steve, always a pleasure working with you. And folks, on behalf of Steve Traynor, Becky Thompson, and our entire Rogers TV crew, we witnessed a beauty. And the Sixers from Ontario win 15-13 over Traffic in BC for the gold medal in the women's division of the 2017 Canadian Ultimate Championships. I'm Dan Mooney. Thanks so much for watching.